Welcome to the deep dive. This is where we plunge into your sources and pull out the most interesting discoveries and insights.
That's the plan.
And today we're diving deep into the really fascinating world of guitar pitch effects.
Oh, yeah, this is a good one.
We've got some incredible material here, really tracing the sonic evolution. You know, how guitarists have bent, shifted, thickened up their tone.
From the very earliest experiments, some pretty wild stuff, actually.
Totally. All the way to today's cutting edge digital pedals. So our mission is to unpack how these tools came about, what they do, the sounds they unlock, and why they've been so crucial to shaping modern music.
Yeah, and it's truly remarkable when you think about it, how these, well, seemingly simple effects completely transformed what a guitar could do,
Right.
allowing a single instrument to cover just vast new sonic territory. And you'll see how innovation in the studio directly led to some of the most iconic sounds ever heard on stage.
Yeah, those aha moments
Yeah.
for listeners, definitely.
Exactly. Big aha moments.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Before we had dedicated floor pedals, before all the sophisticated circuits, how did musicians even begin messing with pitch so creatively?
That's a great question.
Our sources show it all started with some surprisingly low-tech origins, back in the 1940s through the 60s.
Way back.
Yeah, the magic largely happened with variable speed tape machines and turntables, too.
Right, the physical stuff.
Engineers, they pretty quickly stumbled upon a simple truth. If you slow down or sped up a tape, well, the pitch of the sound would naturally go lower or higher.
Like playing a record at the wrong speed, essentially.
Exactly like that. And pioneers like Ken Mabs and, of course, the legendary Les Paul, they famously experimented with multi-track tape machines, layering tracks, manipulating them, creating these pitch effects right there on the recordings.
And what this early period really highlights, I think, is the dawn of manipulating recorded sound beyond just, simple playback.
Yeah, it wasn't just capturing anymore.
No, it was about transforming it, twisting it, creating something entirely new. This was really the fundamental groundwork for all the real-time effects that came later. It just showed that inherent curiosity of engineers pushing boundaries with whatever tools they actually had.
And then here's where things get really interesting. The leap to reliable digital memory and the professional studio environment.
Okay, the digital age arrives.
Sort of, yeah. This ushered in the era of studio rack units in the 70s. Eventide was a huge player here. Their H910 harmonizer came out in 75, I think.
75, yeah. And the H949 followed pretty soon after in 78.
Right, the H949. And these units were absolute game changers. They let engineers transpose any incoming signal by plus or minus 2 octaves.
2 whole octaves.
Yeah, with millisecond delay control, they could even generate multiple voices. So they were basically pioneering real-time pitch shifting in the studio. For the first time, a guitar signal wasn't just being recorded. It was being, processed, transformed on the fly.
So, okay, that studio power was initially stuck in these massive racks, right? Big professional studios. How did that tech eventually, make its way down to the stage, into the hands, or maybe under the feet of guitarists like you? What was the hurdle there?
Well, that brings us to probably the most iconic, instantly recognizable pitch-shifting pedal ever made for guitarists. The Digitech Whammy.
The whammy, of course.
Released in 1989. The Whammy was revolutionary because it bridged that exact gap. Studio power meet the live stage.
Okay.
It packaged that Eventide-derived pitch shift DSP, that's digital signal processing, into a floor pedal. And crucially, it had its signature expression treadle, the toe control.
It's a big red pedal.
That's the one. This let guitarists use their foot to sweep the pitch up or down in musical intervals, major thirds, fifths, octaves, creating these dynamic, on-the-fly pitch bends that were just impossible live before. I mean, the first time I heard one, it was totally mind-blowing.
Oh, I bet.
And it immediately created these signature sounds that just cemented its place, Think of Tom Morello's dive bomb solo on Rage Against the Machine's Bulls on Parade.
Instantly recognizable. Can't mistake it.
Or the Edge's distinct pitch-bent accents on U2 tours. It wasn't just a sound effect. It became part of the performance, an expressive movement.
And what's truly fascinating about the whammy, I think, is how it didn't just add an effect, it added a whole new layer of physical expression to playing guitar.
Yeah, exactly.
Those signature sounds really made the whammy iconic instantly. Its unique effect wasn't just recognizable, it became absolutely essential to certain artists' identities. It really democratized the studio trick, turning it into this vital, expressive tool for live performance.
But, the whammy wasn't the only player wanting a piece of the action. Boss, another giant in the pedal world, they jumped in pretty quickly with their PS
Loss
series.
is always there, right?
Pretty much. They brought pitch shifting to maybe a wider, more accessible audience. The PS1 Super Shifter launched in 1990. Boss's first dedicated pitch shifter stomp box offered octave and detune modes, standard compact chassis.
Pretty basic to start.
Yeah. Then the PS2 digital pitch shifter in 91 added harmonized modes, bypass switching. But as the 90s went on, the PS3 and PS5, released between 96 and 2000, they really upped the ante.
Okay, so more features.
Definitely. They introduced crucial stuff like tap tempo, more voices, user presets, stereo inputs and outputs, really pushing what a stomp box could manage.
Getting closer to that studio power.
Exactly. And then skip ahead to 2010, the PS6 Harmonist packed in 4 voice harmonies, interval presets, and this super bend feature up to plus or minus 12 semitones, basically fitting true studio harmonizer power right into a compact pedal.
Looking at that progression, you can really see a clear trend, can't you? More control, more voices, and the genuine integration of what was once, studio-only power into these compact, accessible stomp boxes, stuff you could actually fit on your pedal board.
Right, making sophisticated sound design really portable.
Precisely.
Okay, so speaking of different kinds of pitch shifts, what about the effects that pull the sound down instead of up or into harmonies? That takes us to sub-octave and down pitch boxes.
Ah, the low-end stuff?
Yeah. The Boss OC2 came out way back in '82. Now, primarily it was an octave down pedal, but its quick tracking sub-octave effect. It definitely crossed into the pitch shift realm. Added this huge, beefy low end.
Like John Paul Jones used it, right?
Famously used by him to thicken up Zeppelin bass lines, yeah.
Yeah.
And Jack White uses it to add serious weight to his guitar riffs.
It gives it that growl.
Totally. And then more recently, you've got stuff like the Electro-Harmonix Pitchfork from 2014. That's a polyphonic one, meaning it can handle chords, not just single note.
Which is a big deal for pitch shifting.
Huge deal. It's an up-down octave generator. It has detune mix controls. It kind of leans on that whammy-style DSP, but it's in a tiny enclosure. So similar power, smaller footprint.
This brings up an interesting distinction, though. How do these more extreme, obvious shifts, full octaves down, or clear intervals like fifths, how do they differ from the much more subtle side of pitch effects?
Right.
The ones that don't involve those big jumps at all, but still dramatically change the sound.
Yeah, this brings us to a really fascinating category, often subtle, but incredibly powerful. Detune pedals.
Okay.
It's absolutely not about those big dramatic shifts. The core idea of a detuner is, instead of full semitone shifts, it offsets one voice by just a tiny amount, a few cents. We're talking plus or minus maybe half a cent up to 10 cents.
So super fine-tuned.
Super fine-tuned. And its purpose is to simulate unison detune. It's kind of like having two guitarists playing the exact same line, but they're just slightly out of tune with each other.
But in a good way.
In a good way. Just enough to create this thickened, almost doubled, really lush sound. Early ways to get this: some clever DIY rigs mixed a fixed, slightly delayed copy pitched up or down just a few cents.
Bit clunky, maybe.
A bit clunky. Or you could find detune modes on a lot of coarse pedals, actually, like the classic Boss CE2 or the EHX small clone. You could set a vibrato-only mode or a really slow LFO. That's a low-frequency oscillator.
Creating that slow warble.
Right, set the rate almost to 0 and you get this static unison effect, that doubled feel.
Ah, okay.
But then in the 2000s and onwards, we started seeing dedicated detuners. The Source Audio Collider, for instance, that's a dual-engine stereo pedal with a really clean detune algorithm built for super tight unison.
Specialized for it.
Exactly. Or the Empress Effects Stereo Detune simple 3-knob design, just for getting that lush doubling without any weird modulation artifacts. Even the TC Electronic Flashback X4 delay has a detune pitch shift mode hidden in there, along with its chorus and delay stuff.
What's really remarkable here is how such a tiny difference, just a few cents, versus a whole semitone, creates such a dramatically different sonic texture.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah. You go from that obvious harmony sound to this organic shimmer, this sense of real depth and width, almost like a sonic aura around the note.
Yeah.
It really shows the fine-tuned control engineers eventually achieved.
So, okay, we've seen dedicated pedals for specific pitch things. Whammy for bends, OC2 for sub-octaves, these dedicated detuners. But what about the modern world, where effects often live together in one, powerful do-it-all unit.
The multi-effects boxes.
Exactly. This is where hybrid and multi-effects pitch tools really shine. Pedals like the Line 6 DL4 or the M13, I mean, yeah, they're mostly known for delay and looping.
Legendary loops.
Legendary loopers, yeah. But they cleverly bundle in pitch shift and detune voices too. Lets you do incredibly creative looping, much broader sound design.
Stacking effects.
Totally. And then you have the really advanced units like the Eventide H9 or the Strymon Mobius. These things are basically portable sound computers. They plug in essentially all the sophisticated studio pitch and detune algorithms.
Everything we've talked about, basically.
Pretty much. Pre-configured harmonies, micro-pitch unison, even weird stuff like formant shift detune. And it's all controllable via an app or an expression pedal for real-time tweaks. The power packed into these things now is just incredible.
Yeah, and if we connect this back to the bigger picture, the broader landscape of music tech, what we're really seeing is this convergence. Raw processing power, miniaturization, and accessibility all coming together.
Makes sense.
It means studio quality effects are now incredibly accessible and versatile, right there on your pedal board. It offers just immense creative freedom for you to craft pretty much any sound you can imagine.
So what does this all mean then for you, the listener, and for guitarists everywhere? Why do these tools, pitch shifters and detuners, matter so much in shaping the sounds we hear, even if we don't always consciously realize they're being used?
Well, ultimately, the evolution of pitch shifters and detuners has had a really profound, transformative impact for several key reasons, I think. First, they're incredibly expressive tools. They let a single guitar cover multiple harmonic roles, from those crazy dive-bombing whammy solos
Can't forget those.
to that subtle chorus-like thickening from a detuner. It just gives guitarists a much, much wider sonic palette than they ever had before.
Expands the instrument.
Absolutely. Second, they are just essential for creative sound design. Detuners especially provide that organic, almost ensemble-like shimmer that's perfect for textures you hear in ambient music, shoegaze, post-rock, creating entire sonic landscapes that just weren't possible before pedals.
Building worlds with sound.
You got it. And finally, there's just the sheer modern flexibility. Today's DSP pedals and modelers, they offer incredibly accurate tracking, really low latency, polyphonic processing, making pitch manipulation just as reliable and powerful as a massive studio rack.
But it's right there on your portable pedal board.
Exactly. Right at your feet.
It really is amazing when you trace it back how these, well, seemingly niche effects have truly opened up entirely new sonic possibilities for guitarists, evolving from those early kind of ingenious tape experiments to today's incredibly precise and versatile digital tools. Phew, what a deep dive that was.
Yeah, covered a lot of ground.
We've traced the incredible journey of guitar pitch effects, haven't we? From early tape manipulation, those groundbreaking studio units, to the iconic pedals like the whammy that define generations, and finally, yeah, to the sophisticated digital tools that allow for almost limitless sonic exploration today. Whether you crave those soaring octave sweeps, rich harmonized drones, or that kind of ghost voice richness you get from a subtly detuned double track. That shimmer, yeah. The lineage of pitch shifters and detuners truly offers a tool for pretty much every sonic vision.
It really makes you wonder, though, as this technology keeps evolving and these pitch effects get even more sophisticated, even more seamless, will they eventually blur the line between a single instrument and, say, an entire ensemble?
Interesting thought.
What new kinds of music, what new ways of thinking about what a guitar can be might that unlock for you? How might it challenge our whole understanding?
That's definitely something to ponder. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, everyone.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
Until next time.